Hello everybody, so today's study guide or today's lesson is going to be AI automation and smart AI systems and workflows that help you save time and money. So we're going to be talking about why you should use no-code automation tools. Let me change this to my laser pointer. So today we'll talk about why you should use no-code automation tools. We're going to build like a workflow using a no-code automation tool. I'm going to show you the step-by-step breakdown of the build. And yeah, this is just the beginning of the lesson, so let's not say too much and let's just get right into the video. We're going to explore how we can leverage no-code tools to automate repetitive tasks in your businesses. By using platforms like N8N, you can save hours of work and significant amount of money while enhancing your productivity. So whether you're a small business owner, whether you're a career professional, whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, automating routine tasks can free up time for you while you focus on other matters. Understanding AI automation involves using of artificial intelligence to perform tasks that would typically require human intervention. So this can include anything from responding to customer inquiries with chatbots to managing complex workflows without needing to write code, or even automating email replies. So today's automation that we're going to be treating is going to be on email reply. In fact, let me just even show you. So here is the automation. Let me just first show you how it works before we go into the build. So this workflow automates the handling of incoming email, summarizes their content, generates appropriate responses, and validates it through a send email with human-in-loop system. So you can quickly integrate this Gmail or Outlook via appropriate notes. So this is how the workflow build is. I don't expect you to understand what this is, but I'm going to use Excalibur. I'll come over to my Excalibur. I'll draw out the workflow for you. You're going to see how it works. You're going to see how it's supposed to be mapped out before we go into the build. So the no-code platform we're going to be using is N8N, and this is the N8N interface. So let me just go through it, just a quick rundown of how the platform looks like before we jump into the build. So when you come into their platform, the first thing you're going to see is the N8N logo. This is the N8N logo. So I'm going to attach the link. So the link to N8N is n8n.io. You could use any no-code automation platform you use. There is make.com, there is Zapier, but I prefer N8N because of its flexibility, and N8N is open source. And basically what that means is you can run N8N on your desktop for free, while other no-code platforms you need to just run it on their cloud platform. But you can run N8N on your desktop if you have enough RAM to carry it. So back to their platform, you can see product overview, integration templates. They have over 5,000 templates that you can just browse through, pick whatever template you want and just work with that. So the use cases: IT operations, security operations, embedded automations, lead automations, supercharge your CRM, and all of that. So in these docs, they have a feature called documentation. This is just basically is like a guide. Basically, you can come here. It says about what you need to know about N8N. N8N helps you connect any app with an API with any other. Basically, another thing I'm going to mention, what is an API? An API is just that bridge that lets two software talk to each other. So it's just like that key that, for instance, you know, when you want to reply to and you go to a website and you're trying to reach the whoever owns the business on that website, and you see the Gmail note that send us or contact us, something like that. So once you type in what you want to send, it sends like a Gmail, then you get your response. That whole process is being connected through an API that connects the website to the Gmail application. So don't worry about it too much. I'm going to explain everything later on. So you can come over to their documentation. They have everything using the app, key components, N8N cloud, enterprise features, release, help, and community. Just come here, you can read, glance through, and you understand everything you need to know about the software. So there's community, enterprise pricing, and let's not spend too much time on this. So once you get here, you can sign in or get started. So I have already created an account. This is the account, but I'm going to just show you like the whole rundown of how it's supposed to be. So once you come into their websites, once you click on get started, you're going to see this page. You fill up your username, company email. Company email is just basically your email, so you don't have to think too much about that. So you confirm email address, password, put account name, then you can start your 14 days free trial. So anytime it gives you 14 days free trial where you can test out the platform, whether it's to your liking. If it's not to your liking, you can move on to another platform and so on. So everything is just going to be like seamless for you. But I would really advise you use Anytime because it has so much features. You can run agents, you can build workflows and everything. Yeah, it's pretty nice. So now let's go back to Excalibur and let me explain this automation for you. So basically, this workflow automates the handling of incoming emails, summarizes their contents. Let me even copy this so we can see it in our Excalibur. So Excalibur is basically a software that I use to, explain notes. So how it works. Now, let's even map out this automation. So thinking of how the automation should work on a normal day, like how this is going to play out. Maybe someone sends you an email, then you go through the email, then you want to draft that response immediately. You don't necessarily have to start racking your brain on thinking of how to draft a reply. This automation can just draft the reply for you. You are going to check the response and be like, okay, is this good? If it is good, you approve it, and once you approve, it replies immediately. So now let's build the automation out. So the first thing that comes in is basically someone sending you an email. So someone sends an email. Then once the person sends an email, what should be the next thing that should happen? Technically, the next thing that should happen is basically like we have a summarization node whereby an AI will summarize the context of the email. That okay, what is this person trying to tell us? What is going on? What should happen in this email? So we're going to have that summarization node where we have an AI summarize the email. So after the AI should now summarize the email, typically you need to write a response. Yeah. So we don't necessarily have to write that response ourselves because sometimes writing email can be a hassle in like having to repeatedly reply emails. If you are running a big enterprise and you're getting emails consistently, having to draft personalized emails for each and every customer can really be a stressful task. So what are we going to do here? We're going to use an AI agent to write the email. So in this node, in the workflow, we basically just have an AI agent draft a response. So we have an AI agent draft response. So once the AI agent drafts that response, we need to validate that email because you cannot just send off an email without looking through it. Like I said, AI might make mistakes. So you need to validate it and look at it that, okay, does this response match the incoming email? Are we tackling the exact problem? Like, are we giving enough context to the response of the email? So here we're going to have a human in loop system, and basically what this just means is you have a human in the loop of the workflow. So let me type human in loop. So when you have a human in loop for the workflow, this just basically means that there is someone going to be there to validate what you are doing or to validate the response that the AI generated. And once we've already confirmed that, okay, this is good to go, that's when we will now put the reply node. So we're now going to, so we're going to send reply. So this workflow now is what we're going to be automating. So firstly, we're going to an email. Someone sends in an email to us. We're going to read the email. Then we have an AI agent. Then we have an AI agent that will summarize the email. Once the AI agent summarizes the email, we're going to use an AI agent, or we're going to use like a basic LLM chain to summarize, to draft a summary of the incoming email. When we have that, we're going to use an AI agent to draft a reply. So that agent now is going to draft a professional response to the email that we just got. Then we now have a human in loop to validate whatever email that is like we're about to send out. So once we validate and approve that, okay, this is good to go, then we now send out the reply. So now that we already have like an overview of how the workflow is going to be, or how the workflow is going to play out, now let's go into the building process. So once you come into like on your interface might be different, but you're going to have something like this. I already have some workflows that I was working on. So, and as you can see, I just created this account not too long ago. I have 11 days left on the free trial. So if you want to, the interface here is going to be different. You're going to see something like start a new workflow, something like that. But me, I'm going to click here on create workflow. So once I create workflow, just like in Excalibur, just like what we have here, the first thing we're going to have is someone sending an email. So what we're going to do is, there are things in N8N called nodes. These are basically the endpoints, or the what basically starts the workflow, or what the workflow entails. And for every workflow, there's always a trigger. So someone sending an email now, someone sending the email is what is going to trigger this workflow. So we're going to have a Gmail node. As you can see, we have trigger manually on app event, on a schedule, on webhook call, just different things that can serve as trigger. But we're not going to use any of this. Sorry, hold on. We're not going to use any of this. We're going to use the Gmail trigger. Gmail. So once you click on the what triggers the workflow, so everything that starts the workflow is going to be a trigger. So once you tap on the Gmail node, see triggers on message received. So this just basically explains what Excalibur says. So when someone sends an email, that is you just saying, okay, yes, we've received a mail, let's check it out. So we're going to click on that, on message received. Here, this is the first part of this. So in just like every interface, you're going to have inputs, you're going to have the settings, and you're going to have output. So this side just basically means what is coming in for a previous node. This is what you're going to use to set the parameters that goes to the next node. And this output is going to, like as you can see here, it says output. So it's just what is being sent over to the next node. But since this is a trigger node, we're not necessarily having anything that comes in from a previous node, because this is the first node that we're going to put. So once you have this settings interface, the first thing you're going to see is credentials to connect with. Normally you would not have anything here. So what you're going to do is you're going to create a new credential. So how you're going to do this is you're going to sign in with Google. There's OAuth2 recommended, and there's a service account. You don't need to pay attention to this service account. So what you just have to do is sign in with Google. Once you sign in with Google, it's going to take you to another page. It's tell you to pick whatever account you want. So I could use this account. So to tell you anytime Cloud wants to access your Google account, select all and continue. So just like that, you're going to be able to have access to your connection successfully. You're going to be able to have access to your Gmail node. So like that, you've connected your Gmail API to N8N. So N8N now will be able to read your messages, will be able to reply your messages, will be able to draft responses, will be able to do a lot of things that you would normally do on Gmail, on your Gmail account. So just look at this. So for this now, this says on message received. So since you've connected your credential, the poll times, what this just basically means is how many times is it going to be checking for new messages you have every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month. So this is just how many times the workflow is going to look into your email to see how many responses have been coming into the email. So what we're going to have here now, we're going to come over to ChatGPT because we're going to like draft a mock email that we're going to send over. So we'll come over to ChatGPT. So if you just want to draft a quick email that you use to test out the automation, you come into ChatGPT. So what I did, I sent my automation and I said I want to generate a test email for this automation, and I want to build, and this is the JSON of the automation I want to build. So basically, this is how I prompt. I first gave it the context of what I was going to do. See, here I have a task. I want to generate a test email for this automation, and this is the context. This is the system prompt for the email reply agents, blah blah blah. But what I just wanted it to do was just to generate me a test email. So what we're going to do is we're going to be sending an email from a collaboration. Is going to be a collaboration inquiry and marketing strategy for Q4 launch. So we're just trying to build an automation around a marketing agency. So this is the body of the email. I'm not really going to read it, but you can pause the video to read it. So this is the email that we're going to be sending over to N10. So when we're done with that, we're going to come back into N10. So this Gmail trigger now, let's test it out. Let's see if we're going to actually get that email. So what I did is I sent that email from one of my Gmail accounts into the Gmail account I connected over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to press fetch test event. Oh, hold on. Yes, so as you can see, when we did first test event, see the snippets over here. Hi Panama team, my name is blah blah blah. It already brought the email that we're supposed to send over. See, hi Panama team, my name is Rachel. This is already the email that I sent, and as you can see, we already have the email here. It is going to grab a lot of other things. We're going to see size estimate, history ID, labels from. See, it is from my Gmail account to the Gmail account I'm using that I connected as the API to the N10. So subject, we have the subject, we have who is coming from, we have labels, we have internal dates, everything about that email comes into N10. So now we can work with this. So the next step, since we already have this and we've seen that it is working, the next step is to come back to Excalibur, and we're going to use an AI agent to summarize the email. So what we're going to do is we're going to click this plus sign, and no, it's not even an AI agent. There's a difference between using an AI agent or using a basic LLM chain. So what this means, what differentiates it is that when you're using a basic LLM chain, you're basically just saying, oh, I want to use ChatGPT, I want to use Grok, I want to use Gemini inside my N10. While AI agent is basically having that whole ChatGPT interface that you can connect whatever LLM you want inside it. We're going to take a look at that later. So here we'll come to AI. As you can see, we have AI agent, OpenAI, basic LLM chain, information extractor, question and answer chain, sentiment analysis, summarization chain, a lot of things that we could do. So what we're going to use now, we're going to use the summarization chain. So when we click on that, see, as you can see in the input now, yes, this is even very good. In the input, we have everything that is coming from the Gmail trigger, from the ID to thread ID to snippet. Snippet is basically the email that is coming in from the Gmail node, the payload, everything, label to, from. So it's going to show who the message came from, the subject of the message, and who the message was sent to. So everything just comes in. Then we have the interface here where we can set the parameters we need, and we're going to have an output again. The reason why this is empty is because we've not done anything. So once we press execute step, we're going to see what comes next. And I'll advise that, you should always test your workflow as you are building. Don't just build out the workflow first. because sometimes when you build out the workflow, you might not know where the error is coming from. So as you are building, you need to always test the workflow. So now, as you can see, this is green, this is red. It's basically just a very, very good interface for you to see where a problem is coming from. This shows green because everything here is good. This shows red here because something is wrong. And if you hover around it, you see, as you can see there, the issue is no node connected to required input model. So this just basically means that we need to attach a LLM to this model. And what that means is this now is just a chat interface. It's as if we're using ChatGPT. So we need to attach a brain to it. So what model can we attach? We have, if you click on that model, you can see Anthropic chat model, Azure OpenAI chat model, DeepSeek chat model, Google Gemini chat model, Google Vertex. We have a lot of things to use. So OpenRouter, Grok, OpenAI, just a lot of things that we could attach to it. So what we're going to be using is we're going to be using the OpenAI chat model. But before we get there, let's first set the parameters here. So data to summarize, like use node inputs in JSON, you can leave this one as it is. You don't need to change anything there. So chunk strategy, leave it chunk per characters per chunk 1000, chunk overlap, so just leave all those ones as they are. So anything just makes it easier for us, and they set all these parameters for us. So now here is where we are going to need to tweak. So once you click on these options, you're going to add options. So summarize method and prompt. That is what we need. See, summarize method, map, reduce, recommended. See, like I said, anything helps us set all those parameters so that we are not going to need to do much there. So now this is now where we're going to need to tweak, because as you can see, write a concise summary of the following. This text area now is what we're going to change, and it's like it said, it's going to draft a concise summary. Write a concise summary of the following. But we're going to change this prompt. I'm going to give you a prompt sheet. So I already generated all the prompts we're going to be using for this build. I have it in a sheet here, and we'll go through them and see how they work. So I'm going to copy this prompt, go back into our NA10, click on expression, because when it's on fixed, you'll not really be able to edit it here. So you click on expression, then open the interface. So what this just basically means, we're going to copy this, delete, then paste that prompt. Now, as you can see, this JSON.snippet just changed to, in the results, we can see that the JSON.snippet here is reflecting as this snippet. Hi, Panama team, my name is Rachel, whatever, and everything. So let me tell you how we got this. If I delete this out, we can see that it is no longer there. But anything just makes it easy for us that we can just drag and drop. So it's like a drag and drop system. So you're going to come over to this snippet, drag it, and place it in between that quotation, and we already have the JSON.snippet there already. So do you understand that? I hope you really understand that. So it's a drag and drop interface. Whatever you drag and bring in here, you will see it there. If you drag in the two, place it there, you see it there. Everything is just like a drag and drop. And the reason why it is in JSON is because most LLMs or most AI communicate in JSON format, and JSON is the best mode of language that AI use to communicate with each other. So let's not spend too much time on that. We already have the individual summary prompts here. Now the final prompts to combine. We'll come back over to our prompt sheet, copy this, write a concise summary of the following, maximum 100 words. Come here, like I said, change to expression, open it up, select all this, delete, and paste our new prompt. The same JSON.snippet is the same that I just dragged in from here, but it was just copied in the prompt. So you can just drag yours and place it in the middle if you don't want to use the prompt. So you can just pause the video, type in the prompt, drag in your JSON.snippet, put it in there, and it's going to work exactly the same way. So now, since we already have that, if I try to test this out, nothing is going to work, because once I press play here and we tap on execute step, we get an error. problem in summarization node, a model subnode must be connected and enabled. So now we need to connect the brain. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick an OpenAI chat model. You can use any of these. I'm going to talk more on APIs later on, but you can use any of these API. So I'm just going to show you because OpenAI chat model is the most common one. So I'll show you how you can access it, how you can get the OpenAI chat model. So we're going to click on OpenAI chat model and connect a credential. The first thing you need to always do is connect credential. So what this credential is basically the API. So you are not going to have anything over here. So you need to create new credential. So when you tap on create new credential, you see API key, you see organization ID, optional, then you see base URL. This base URL, leave it as it is. What we are concerned about is this API key. So how are we going to get our API key? We're going to go over to OpenAI's platform. OpenAI. So once we come over to OpenAI's platform, this is different for ChatGPT. OpenAI is basically the people that make ChatGPT. So we come here, you log in. This API platform, this is what we need exactly. So you come over to your API platform. Once you log into the account, this is basically how your API platform is going to be. You have your playground, you have your dashboard, you have documentation, just like the way anything has documentation. This is the documentation interface of the OpenAI platform. You have API reference, settings, and some other things. So you can just come here once you're less busy, browse through and get whatever you want. But what we are really concerned about is in the settings. So once you come into the settings, you can go to your profile. So up here in the settings, you see your profile, you see general, you see API keys. Now here is where you're going to grab your API key that you use in anything. As you can see, I've generated a lot of API keys. So just come here, create new API key, give it whatever name you want, maybe demo 1. So project, you don't necessarily, all these ones are not necessary, but permissions, you grant it all permissions, or let me just select default project. Then once you grant it all permission, create secret key. But there's something you need to note. Don't let anyone see your API key. Your API key is very, very important. And what that means is that the way you have the way it's a connection between your ChatGPT account to your Anything account is, if any other person gets your API key, they could run up your billing, they could run up your tokens on your API key, and you will just notice that whatever amount you've put on your API key is just going to be exhausted. So once you create secret key, by the way, something I did not mention earlier is you need to add credits into your API key. So you can just fund at little as $5, place it into your API key, and that $5 you can use it for as long as 6 months. Because I credited my own API back in January, and this is July, and I credited it with $10, and I still have $6.5 left, and I have been using it. Trust me, I have really been using it, and I have $6.5 left. So you can just fund your API with as little as $5, and it's going to get you to exactly where you need. So once you come here, the API key you copied, place it in here and just save. And once you save that, it's going to be connected automatically. So I've connected my own API account, and from here, you can see all the models that ChatGPT has to offer, from their GPT 4.1 mini, GPT-5, GPT-4, a lot of models you can pick from, but I'll advise to pick the 4.0 mini, because the 4.0 mini is a very smart model, and at the same time, it saves cost. So the way it is smart is the way it is able to save a lot of cost for you. So you click on 4.0 mini, then that is all the setup we need for this node. So as you can see, we already have the OpenAI chat model. Now let's test it again and see. So once we test that out, it should turn green, and there we go. We already have the summarization chain. So if you want to open it, you double tap on it, then it's going to open up. As you can see, we still have the input, then the settings, then the output. See, The output is Rachel Kingsley, Marketing Director of Novatech, a tech startup specializes in customer IoT devices, introducing herself to the Panama team. She shares what it wrote is just basically saying that it has summarized what was coming in from the previous email, because we had that email was very, very long. So now we've already put it in a summary for the next AI agent to understand and draft reply. So if you come back to the Excalibur, we already have this this node lined out. We already have the email summarization node lined out. Now let's draft a response to that email that is coming in. So here now, what we're going to do, we're going to add another node, and we're going to use the AI agent node. So now this, I'll show you the difference between the AI agent and the basic LLM chain. The difference between this AI agent node and the summarization or the basic LLM chain is, see, we can just connect a chat model, but the AI agent, we can give it a chat model, we can give it a memory, and we can also assign different tools to it. So this is just like a robust LLM chain. Do you understand? So this one just does basic tasks, but this one can do a lot because now it is an AI agent. Now this is going to be your email reply agent. So how we're going to do it is, here you can see that we are going to have source for prompt, chat connected, trigger node, but we're going to change that into define below, because if you have this one, just basically means if you have a chat interface as the trigger that is connected to it. Let me show you what that is. So here we can see that we have a chat trigger. So if we have a chat trigger connected to the AI agent node, it is going to use the connected chat trigger node. But since we don't have a chat trigger connected, we're going to use define below. So now we are going to write the prompt for the AI agent. So we'll come back to our prompt sheet. Now write a text reply for the following email. You copy that, go back into our workflow. Like I said, you click on expression, open this interface up, then you paste it over there. So the reason why it is not seeing this is because, like I said, I copied it from the previous workflow. So we're going to delete this, and we're going to drag this text. We're going to send it into this place. So now we can see, write the text reply for the following email. Rachel Kingsley, the marketing director at Novatech, is reaching out to Panama team. Basically, what we were able to summarize from the previous summarization chain node. So now, just like how we did before to this, we're going to connect a chat model. But before we get into that, we need to give this AI agent a system prompt. And what that means is we need to tell it what it needs to understand, or is basically the prompt that will guide the system, that will guide the AI agent. So let me give you more context to that. If you have this, if you click on the system prompt node, you just have a simple, you are a helpful assistant prompt that has just been put there by anything. But we're not going to use this. We'll come back to our prompt sheet. So this is the prompt I created using ChatGPT. Like I said, I just went into ChatGPT. I told it, oh, generate a prompt for me, and it's generated a prompt for me. Pause the video, read through to see the prompt, and tweak it as you like. So we come back here, we paste the prompt into the AI agents. Now it is going to follow this context when it is trying to draft email. As you can see here, you see you are an AI assistant for a marketing agency called Panama, tasked with drafting professional email replies. Your primary goal is to craft clear, concise, and contextually relevant responses to incoming clients' emails. So these are the guidelines, these are the response, this is the response format, and just basically rules to guide the AI agent. So now we already have the prompt, we already have the system message. Now let's see how it is going to work. So here we come over here again, we're going to add a chat model, OpenAI chat model. Just because you've connected your OpenAI chat, your OpenAI API, you will not need to connect it again. Here already, we already have the GPT 4.1. So let's just run that and see what it does. So we run this, and boom, we have it green. So let me pin this. I'm going to pin this because I don't want it to, if we need to reload the site, I don't want it to have to retrieve or have to burn API tokens anymore. So if you pin it, it's just going to save the data that you've used in the previous node. So here now we already have the AI agent green. That means the execution ran successfully. Now let's open up the AI agents to see what we got. So here it has drafted a response. Dear Rachel, thank you for reaching out to Panoma team. We're excited to learn about Novatech's incoming product launch. Basically replying with that context that came over from the previous summarization node. So here, now let me also show you another thing. Here you have schema, you have table, you have JSON. So this just shows how the output is going to be shown to you. So in this schema side, you can see that it shows this n, and what this basically means is just new line. So in the table format, so you can view in schema, you can view in table, and you can also view in JSON. So let's view in JSON and we'll see exactly how it is. So you see, dear Rachel, thank you for reaching out to the Panoma team. We are excited to learn about Novatech's upcoming product launch. Basically replying to the email that we got. So now that we have this settled, what is the next thing to do? We need to set a human in loop node. So when we come back to our workflow, to set that human in loop node, there is one thing that you should always do, because now this email is not going to be structured. See, as you can see, everything is just in chunks, everything is in, like, it's all mashed up together. We need to split it out. So we're going to use a node called set node. So this set node is just going to help us modify, add or remove items from field. So it's just going to give us that structured output that we are going to need to make the email just look better. You understand? So here we're going to see fields to set. Now let's add field that we're going to set. So the name of the field, we're just going to call it email. Then obviously it is a string, and what this basically means is because it is just a set of text. So in code, anything that is in text is basically called a string. We have string, we have number, like if number is coming in, we have boolean, we have array, and we have objects. When we are building other automations, we are going to see how we are going to use all of this. But since it's going to be a text that is coming in, we are going to use the string node. So the value that we are going to put into it is going to be this output that we got. So we're just going to drag, like I said before, we're just going to, we're just going to drag and place it into this place. So now we already have the outputs. So as you can see here, we can see that in the message that came, it said, best regard, your name, Panoma team. Now let's go and tweak the system prompt. What that basically just means is the AI agent is giving us it does not know how to sign out. So we need to now tell it what to do. So let me now go into this place. So in the response format, we're going to edit it. In the system prompt, I'll just put always sign out as, let's just give it a random name, Jessica from Panoma team. So once we already have that, we're going to, like I said, always, I've not even said this, but let me just remind you also, always save your workflow so that you're not going to, if your connection should get lost, you will not need to have to be reloading, or you don't need to just lose all the work you've done. So once you click on save, now the changes are going to be saved. Now let's run this one more time to see the response that we get. So that has gone. Now let's see what we got here. See, as you can see, best regards, Jessica, Panoma team. So just like that, when we tweak the system prompt, we can use it to get whatever results we have. So when we come into this place, we're going to see that, okay, the output here, once we open it up, best regards, Jessica Panoma team. So now this is the structured email that we're going to be getting out. So once we execute that step, we have it in a structured format. So now that we have that, let's go over to the next node. Next node is going to be human in loop, just like we have in the workflow diagram. So we're going to set a human in loop system that would automatically make you review the email that is coming in. Then if you approve it, it will send it over. So we go back to the workflow, click on a plus button. The human in loop is going to be found in the Gmail because we are going to be using the Gmail node to send the email. So once we get that, we're going to see it has a lot of actions. We can see message actions, add label, delete message. So you can always pause this video, check on your own interface to just read through to see all the things you can do. So here now we have send message and wait for response. So we're going to click on that. See, we already have whatever is connected. Hold on, let me see the Gmail account we use here. We are using Gmail account. So we come here, Gmail account. So the response is message, operation, send and wait for response. So anything has already set that already to us. So what this basically means is just to subject message. What this does is you can set it from this Gmail trigger. We're going to open this Gmail trigger because this was the first node that we have. From here, we can see to from subject. So this from node now, you're not going to use this because obviously it's telling you that the email came from whatever accounts. Let's say this is the Gmail that Jessica used to send in the email to us. So this is the subject and this is the to. So you're going to pick your own account because obviously you're the one that wants to see the response. You're the one that wants to approve the response. So you come here, drag your to, place it here. It's going to pick your email. See Gmail trigger.item.json.to. So that's just basically the JSON format. But if you see the result, it is the Gmail that we picked. Subject, you can just put something like approval response. Then the message, we're going to drag the message from the set or the edit field. So we open that up, carry this and drag it into this place. So now it is going to send over this message to us. We're going to see it and we're going to get the option whether to approve or disapprove it. So see response type, we have approval, free text or custom form. So this approval is just it's going to open up the node, show you that, oh, do you want to approve this email? We also have a free text, whether you want to make an edit, or it is going to open up a form node where maybe you want to say, oh, change this text to let's have a call by 7 p.m. or custom form. You can just tweak around it, but we're going to just use the approval response type. So also another thing to note, in these options we're going to remove this because when you put this on, okay, you know what, let's just even test it out to see. So firstly, I'm going to click on execute step. Once you click on execute step, as you can see, if you look closely at this, we have it loading. So that means it has already sent the message and is waiting for response. So now we're going to head over to our Gmail to actually check if we can see the response. So this was the email that came in. Now if we reload that, see approval response. Now, as you can see, we already have the response that we're supposed to approve. So thank you for reaching out to Panoma team, the exact email that we drafted. So once you just click on approve, it will open up and see, we already have got it. Thanks. This page will be closed soon. So now as you can see, the node is already green. That means we've already approved that, okay, we can send this over. Now, the final step of the workflow is to send over the reply. So what we're going to do also, you press tab on your keyboard. I'm going to also pick the Gmail node, Gmail. So once we pick the Gmail node, we're going to reply a message because we are going to be sending a reply back to Jessica. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this reply a message, then everything has been set for us. So what we're going to put in here, we're going to put the message ID, obviously change this one to text because the message is going to be text, and the exact message we intend to reply to. So where are we going to get this message ID from? Remember that we used the Gmail trigger initially. So we're going to go back to that. And if you scroll down here, just right here, we can see the message ID already. So we grab that, place it into this message ID box, and you can already see the results. You can see the message ID here. So now we'll come back to the edit field, the message be approved, grab that also, then place it here. Now we are going to see the message that we've drafted, and we're going to reply it directly to that DM that we picked out, or directly to that email that we already selected from. So once we click on execute step, okay, hold on, okay. So yes, now you can see that the resource you are following, or the resource you are requesting, could not be found. That is because I'm using a wrong Gmail node here. So I'm going to switch that to the normal one, then execute step again, and voila, we have it. So the label is sent. Let me change this to schema. So we already have it as sent ID. And if I go back to the Gmail I sent the workflow from, or the Gmail I sent the email from, let me click on Gmail. And there we go. Once we already have a collaboration inquiry, and once you click on it, dear Rachel, thank you for reaching out to Panoma team. Just like how we have the first message, this was the reply that came in. So you can see that throughout that whole process, we already built a response, like an email response system using AI. And this workflow can be used at any point. It can be used repeatedly. So all you just have to do is just to be approving. You just, once this Gmail node checks for a new email, you just come here, approve the email that is supposed to reply to, and the workflow is going to run automatically in the background. So can just come here, change this to email response. Hold on. Email response automation. Don't forget to, yes, always remember to save. And there you go. You already have your first automation built out from scratch. And just like that, your journey to becoming a master AI automation engineer has just begun. So this is just a simple email workflow that you can build out for yourself, test out for yourself. There are other use cases for this anytime. We're going to be treating other use cases. In the next lesson, I'm going to be teaching you how to create websites using free, or no, not necessarily free, but using AI tools that is, instead of you paying thousands of dollars to developers, you can just pay like $20 to $50 and create your websites that you're going to host live, and everything is going to be working. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and ask, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you very much.